boys? Welcome back to part 2 of our weekly rankings.
We got running backs.
We got running backs today.
Running backs.
Looks like we got a pretty interesting one first.
Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of iffy about him.
Yeah.
He's I'd say could be a guy. He's going to be the bell cow.
Yeah.
He's going to be a guy that's going to get you points, but he had a pretty bad matchup.
Are they going to utilize him though, since they paid him and everything?
Yeah, I mean,
and they traded for him?
Yeah.
Or no, they signed him. They signed him.
Yeah. I think he's gonna be a receiving back too. I think that's gonna help a lot, especially with the Sam Darnold. I don't think he's gonna be chucking it a lot.
Yeah.
Against the Giants,
is Ty Chandler a threat though?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think he'll be a big threat. I think this week, he is a low end starter. I think he's a start. This
12 man and up league start him, and then
I think he is an RB2 / maybe bottom line flex position.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, we have Alvin Kamara.
Okay, this is your guy. You take it.
I have him in a lot of leagues. I don't know. He just has such good yards after catch, receiving upside. He gets the screens, gets the dump downs. Derek Carr can't throw the ball, so he just throws it short. But no, I think he's going to have Carolina's a pretty easy game. I feel like their defense is good, but it's not going to be as good as some others are going to going up against. So I think I'll have him as a start. Most weeks I'll have him as a start. He projected 15 points for me this week. So yeah.
I mean, he's sitting at the RB19 in this website I'm looking at here, and I mean that's pretty solid. I mean, it's a 4-star out of 5-star rating for matchup protection. So I think.
What do you think about this? What do you think about this next guy?
Yeah, he's an automatic sit.
Sit?
Yeah, automatic.
Austin Eckler.
I don't even think he's the RB1 in this offense. I think Brian Robinson will take a lot away. I think Brian Robinson is the third down back. I think he's the power back. I think Austin Eckler might be a receiving back, but I don't think he's going to be good enough to start. Yeah. I think he is a borderline not drafted player. But he got paid. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. At this point, I'm not starting him.
Well, next up we have a sit for me. Bijan Robinson. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. No, he's a start every week. You got him. Got the new awesome offensive coordinator. They're gonna utilize him this year. I really feel like.
I think he's projected on this one. I think 14 points. I could easily see him go.
Well, Steelers' defense isn't
pretty tough.
Yeah, it's not easy.
I think they're gonna utilize him in the receiving game and the running game. And I mean, Ty Chandler is kind of a. People have been saying he's been being used in the offense in training camp.
Ty Chandler?
No, Tyler Algier.
There you go.
There's so many times.
Still back on Aaron Jones. Jones.
I think he's an automatic start.
Yeah.
Mostly every week.
Yeah.
So.
What do you think about this Jets running back next?
Start. Slamming the start button. I think even with this San Fran matchup, I think he's the second ranked running back in this week.
Yeah.
He's going to get a lot of dump offs. He's going to be running the ball with that new offensive line, and I think they're going to utilize him, and he's going to be that 3-4 down running back. I think he could.
And they have a better offensive line.
I think he could play 85-90% of the snaps this week, and I think that's going to be an automatic start.
Yeah, I agree. Now, Brian Robinson. I'll let you do this one because you talked about Eckler. So what do you think about?
Brian Robinson for me, that's tough. I mean, they're playing Tampa Bay. They have a pretty good D-line with Vita Vea. I think for me, he's a sit.
Sit?
Both of them are going to be kind of like killing each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll be taking touchdowns, maybe receiving away from him.
Yeah.
Last year, he started off really hot, and he was the RB4 through like 3 or 4 weeks. But I think he's a start this week. And if he proves that he's the 3-down RB1, I think he'll be bumped up, but at this point, I think he's a sit.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a tough guy.
I know. I don't really know what I want to do here. CMC?
Yeah, he's the number 1 guy.
Oh yeah,
he will be the number 1 guy.
I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody says. He is not going to. I mean, he could regress a little bit, but he's not going to drop under RB1. I'm sorry, it's CMC, and he gets too many targets. He gets too many rushing opportunities, goal line work, everything.
He's coming. He practiced today. That's pretty good to hear. I mean, he's CMC. I mean, there's nothing else really to do. Yeah. So he's on my start every week.
Chuba Hubbard.
Hubbard. Okay, Chuba Hubbard.
What are you thinking? Chuba, yeah, whatever.
It's
hard.
He's a starting RB. He will be until Jonathan Brooks comes back. I don't really like him this week against the Steelers. No, the Saints.
Yeah, he's been Saints.
I think he's gonna be pretty bad. I don't think he's
sit.
I think he's a sit.
Sit. Yeah.
I don't like any. He has no upside in my opinion. I mean, he might get 7-8 points, but even if he scores a touchdown, it won't be that much. I think it'll be a pretty tough game for him.
I want you to help me with this one. DeAndre Swift.
Okay.
Do we say start? I mean, we don't know how much of the backfield he's going to have. Is Khalil Herbert going to come into the backfield a little bit?
Receiving
back.
That's tough. I know DeAndre Swift is good. I know he can be good. Tennessee has a really good defensive line in my opinion. I mean, he might have a tough game. So I think that he is a start, in my opinion, because he could easily be an RB2. I mean, if he's an RB1 on your team, it's kind of tough, but he's
a decent RB2.
He's a starter.
No,
RB2.
I agree.
We'll
put him as start. Yeah. No, I definitely agree.
This is a tough one, too.
Montgomery, I honestly think you can start them both every week.
Yeah,
because
they're playing against the Rams.
They share the backfield, him and Jameer, and
it's projected 11 points.
I mean, I think Jameer, now that he's not a rookie, he is going to go up a little bit more, and they're going to utilize him more. But
Jameer having that little tweak during training camp too. I mean, Dave Montgomery could easily have the more snap share in the game 1. So I think he's a start.
Yeah, I agree. Derrick Henry,
take it away, man.
Yeah,
you like that guy.
I like him. We talked about when we did quarterbacks. I feel like he's going to get a lot of goal line work.
And speaking of that, I mean, he's the second-ranked guy for over-unders with over-under 63.5 rushing yards, especially against the Chiefs. The
Chiefs defense, it's a good pass defense, but they have a history of not having a good run defense.
Besides Chris Jones, obviously.
Like, that's the only thing. But no, like last year, I saw their run defense was like towards last in the NFL. Yeah. So I think that could be.
I think he's a start.
Yeah,
I think he will. I think the Ravens will use their new toy. I think they will. Yeah. I think they'll be like, oh, watch this. We have studs back there.
How are you gonna
stop
a read option of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry?
I think it's gonna be really good. I think that game's gonna be so much fun to watch for game.
And it's opening game. No,
2 days.
It's
2
good.
days.
2 days away.
Who we got next?
Devin Singletary.
Okay. And they're playing the Vikings.
Yes.
So obviously he's not as good as the top guys, but I think low-key he is RB1. He's the role, like he is the guy there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, the rookie is the only other guy that would take his spot. So I think he's going to have the snap share and he's going to have the carries. And I don't think the Minnesota Vikings defense isn't anything that scary for running. I think it's the same thing as Dave Montgomery. I think he's an RB2, like a start RB2.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I don't think he's a sit.
Yeah. No, I agree. Guy that I'm kind of scared about, honestly. He has such good upside, but it scares me because of Raheem. It's Devon Achane. He's going to be a start, of course. I mean, both of them are starts every week.
He could pop out for 40 points.
Dude, yeah.
And the Chargers, they're playing the Chargers.
Are they playing?
Or no,
Jacksonville?
Jacksonville, yeah.
Jacksonville. Okay. But no, I have Raheem and Devon, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But I think they'll both get utilized, and I think they'll still get a good amount of points.
I mean, I saw a lot of things last year. I mean, even as a rookie, Devon Achane was getting a lot of first read throws in the slot. I mean, they're going to use him in the passing game too.
And the screens, just dumping it off here and there. Tua can't just throw Tyreek the whole game. They're going to stop it. So if they throw underneath, he's such a good yards after catch person.
He can take anything to the house.
Yeah.
Well, so.
Zeke Elliott, Ohio State alumni.
He was good when he was rookie, but he's been kind of on the downhill slope ever since he left the Cowboys. I don't know. It's a sit for me.
Sit? Yeah.
I mean, going against the Browns, I mean, they have a really good D-line, good defense.
Yeah.
And as we all saw last year with the Cowboys, they like to pass the ball. So I think he's a sit this week. And if he proves me wrong, but I think he's a sit.
They also signed Dalvin, so I don't think we'll see Dalvin this week.
I think Rico Dowdle is also going to take away a lot a lot.
Yeah, he's down here on the list.
He is on the list.
So when
we'll get to him later.
Yeah, we'll get to him.
He's a spicy guy.
Yeah. Gus Edwards, I think it's the same thing. I don't even know if he's an RB2. That's kind of...
It's like these guys, they're
because
all
the only thing that's good about Gus is that he's with Harbaugh, and Harbaugh likes to run. Yeah. But also on the list here, there's J.K. Dobbins. They're both on that offense. So, and we don't know who's going to start and who's getting goal line work and all that.
And that's the hardest part about week 1 is like with this like Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears, like you got J.K. Dobbins, you got these guys that could easily be the RB1s. Like you don't know who's going to get those like roles like solidified yet.
So I think I'll put him as sit. I'll put Gus as sit. I think that's.
And then I think, like to elaborate a little bit, I think start and sits or for the starts, I think it's RB1, RB2.
Yeah,
and then like guys that are kind of below that RB2 range is the people we are sitting.
I think there are a couple of sits, and we kind of mentioned it like that. If you're in an upper like 14-man going up that way.
Gus Edwards is one of those guys. Like if
you're up with that many people in a league, I'd definitely start him. Especially like Brian Robinson, I'd start him, and maybe Eckler. But like, it's just mainly most people are in 12-man leagues, and that's kind of what we go off of.
If you're starting him as RB2 in a 12-man, it's looking at good. But
yeah.
The next guy, I love him. You love him. We both love him.
Isaiah Pacheco.
He's a stud. His over-under is also pretty high. It's sitting at 61.5, just below Derrick Henry. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's averaging above 18, 17 points when he's on the field for 80% of the snap share.
And McKinnon's not. They let McKinnon walk.
And
so he's the bell cow. I don't think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to do anything.
I mean, Andy Reid said that himself. He said that he is the guy that can do everything. He can catch the ball. He can run the ball.
Yeah. And
I think they're going to be running a good amount. I think he'll be coming out of the backfield a good amount too.
Yeah. No, I agree. So start for him.
Yep, definitely start.
Jameer, I said, start.
I mean, it's a good matchup for the Rams, high scoring. Jameer Gibbs, they're gonna.
Same thing with.
The only thing is he might be taking a couple steps back because he had that little injury thing, but I think he'll be fine going into week 1.
No, I agree. I'll let you talk about this guy.
I like James Conner. I really like James Conner. He is a guy that everybody was sleeping on every year, and he does perform. I mean, he always performs. He was like a top 10, 15 running back last year, and he was going so late. This FantasyPros.com is where I'm seeing a lot of my rankings from. It's James Conner's at 17, projected almost 12 points, and with a really good matchup against the Buffalo Bills. I mean, I think they'll come out firing. I think the Cardinals will be going really hot. James Conner can still catch the ball, and I mean, you saw he had 2 receiving touchdowns right when Kyler came back. He was averaging almost 20 points a game when Kyler was playing with him the last couple of weeks.
I think Trey Benson is scary to take away stuff, but I think unless James gets tired and gets finessed and stuff,
maybe as we go along. I mean, everybody knows James Conner has never played a full season in his career.
Yeah.
So Trey Benson will
start. Trey Benson,
one game at least.
He will sleeper.
So I think he's a start. Yeah.
I don't think Trey Benson's on this list, but pick up Trey Benson, put him on your bench.
Just as a handcuff. Handcuffs are really important.
Start for James Conner.
Yep.
James Cook, definitely a start.
I think he's a start. He is the guy. They go through him. I mean, you saw it in the last couple of games.
When they've switched the offensive coordinators.
I think he finished with like 1,200 rushing yards.
Yeah.
And touchdowns will come. He might not have a lot of touchdowns, but they'll come.
Well, I also think with them not having Diggs and Gabe Davis,
all those vacated targets, and they usually go to the running back if you go by the math.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I think he's definitely a start against.
I think he's a start about every week. Not gonna lie, he's just one of those guys.
I think he will finish in the top 12. I think he will after this year.
I could see it. Javonte Williams.
Okay, I like this guy. I like Javonte. He's a perfect RB3 in my opinion. Like you get 2 studs, and then he's later in the rounds to pick up.
For the bye weeks.
Yeah, he is the RB1. He is going to get the carries. Obviously, I mean, Sean Payton, he picks a guy and says, "You're my guy. You're going to be getting the ball."
Yeah.
And 2 years off the ACL tear, this is when they usually all running backs come back and start firing again.
Yeah.
But at this point, I mean, Seahawks defense. What do you think about that? I mean,
they did get Byron Murphy in the middle, that rookie.
I think. He's projected almost 10 points. I mean, that's a solid RB2.
I'd give it an RB2. Like we said, if we're doing RB2s, I would put.
I think he's a low end sit or start.
Yeah, I think he's a 12 man league RB2. I'd start him for sure. I think that's a good.
Yeah. And my computer just died, by the way, so we'll be going in. Just our brains from now on. All right. Next we got Jaylen Warren. I think
he's hurt.
He's hurt, and he's a backup in my opinion. Yeah. He's like kind of.
He's gonna be good.
He's like right here.
Him and Najee are just.
Yeah, they're interchangeable. I think he's a sit this week.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't even think he's playing. Yeah. So that's. Oh yeah. J.K. Dobbins, same thing. You think with Gus?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think they're both sits until we figure out who is the guy. So I think he's a sit.
Yeah. No, I agree. So we'll put him there. Joe Mixon. Okay.
This is the thing. I've seen a lot of people high hopes of Joe Mixon. Like he might be really good. He might be solid week starter.
What do you think, Coop?
I think against the Colts, I think he's RB2. I think he's a starter here.
Start. Yeah, RB2. I agree.
I'll ask you about this one, Jonathan Taylor. I mean, this is pretty easy.
I have him in line 2 leagues. He's a dog.
He's before my computer died. He was projected the most over/under rushing yards at like 72, 73, something like that. So, I mean, and he's going to get the ball. They're going to give him the ball. They're going to let him cook. So.
Well, yeah, he was the best player in fantasy. Was it 2 or 3 years? 2 years? I think it was 2. It's all confusing. I mean, he's going like middle second round.
Yeah, I know.
So pick him up like.
And I haven't heard. I think he's perfectly fine, not injured anymore.
Oh yeah,
he's looking good.
No, he's going to be good. Yeah, he's a start every week in my opinion. Josh Jacobs. Packers fan behind me.
Yep.
You guys see the Josh Jacobs
I'll let you take it away.
Oh yeah, he's don't mind my chair, it's a little squeaky, but Josh Jacobs is a start for me. Yes, it's going to be a difficult matchup against the Eagles. They have a good defense.
He's the guy though.
But AJ Dillon's hurt, and Marshawn Lloyd's has kind of a little injury. I think he's coming back off of it, but it's still like it's just kind of looming over him. But I think we love screens and love dumping it down. And Jordan, if they take away over the top, I think Josh Jacobs is going to be a really good guy.
He's a solid
goal line work.
Too,
I said, like Dylan's out, he's goal line.
Yeah.
That's just. Yes, it's a risky game against the Eagles, but I think you got to start.
I agree. Next guy, I think we both like this guy.
Kenneth
Walker. I think
great matchup against the.
I think he's an automatic start. Too. I think he. I mean, obviously you have the backup. What's his face? I don't even remember. Oh, Zach Charbonnet.
Yeah.
He might. I don't think he's going to take anything away.
No.
But I think Kenneth Walker has a really good matchup, and we've all heard. You've heard it too, like the coach coming out and saying Kenneth Walker. Wow, he's been playing really good.
Well, no, and just in camp and everything. I saw a thing. I don't know if it's true, but I saw a thing about that. They basically said like Charbonnet is only basically if he gets hurt or finessed or anything. Like Kenneth Walker is the dude. He is getting almost every single down. He's gonna get the goal line carries. He's gonna get the screen pass and receiving work. I mean, it's just it's so
okay.
There.
This next one is fun.
There's Williams. Backlash on this now.
Kyren Williams.
Like last week, Sean McVay coming out, he screwed up everybody's fantasy drafts. If you drafted before, which you probably did.
It's so annoying. I still think Kyren Williams, he averaged the second most fantasy points per game last year. Kyren Williams is that guy.
But he's returning punts.
I don't
and they said Blake Corum looks good. They want to utilize Blake Corum.
I'm starting Kyren Williams this week.
He's starting Kyren.
No matter what, he is an RB1. I don't know a team that has a Kyren Williams below RB1. So I'm starting him just like every other week.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm really high on this next guy, Najee Harris. I think with Jaylen Warren out, he's going to get it's an automatic start there for me. I think Arthur Smith comes in. He likes a good big. He likes Tyler Algier, and he likes to get the goal line work and get a big running back. And I think even with the dump downs and everything, I think Najee will have a good game. It's not the easiest game against the Falcons, but I think it's going to be. I think he's definitely a start there, and especially with Jaylen Warren out. Yeah, and with Jaylen Warren out, he's a start for every week that Jaylen Warren is out. He is a start for me. Yes.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah, Nick Chubb's hurt, but
he's hurt. Get him out of here.
I don't think Jerome Jerome Ford is not on this list.
Okay, pretend that's Jerome Ford. I don't think I'm starting him yet.
No, I don't
think so.
Dallas is a hard matchup.
Dallas is a hard matchup. Yeah. But this next guy,
I don't like this pick at all. I don't like Rachaad White.
It really depends. They're playing the Commanders.
He is the least efficient running back.
But he gets
rushing,
catches.
But he gets catches. So if he does not get catches, you're screwed.
That's tough. He is obviously a guy that you're probably going to be starting in a 12-man league.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're talking about a 6-man league or we're talking about an 8-man league, he is low-key probably not starting.
No, he's probably on your bench.
Yeah, I think he is a start because we're going off like we're in a lot of 12-mans. Yeah. I think he's an RB2 start.
I think he's an RB2. Yeah.
I could see him having a tough game. But I think he might have
plays the Commanders.
I think he'll have a bounce-back game.
Yeah.
Or bounce-back year.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Even though his year wasn't even bad. Okay, this guy, Raheem Mostert.
What do you think? I kind of mentioned him when we brought up Devon. I think they're both. You got to start them because, I mean, there's games where they both get 20 points.
Yeah, I mean, they're both going to get carries. They're both going to work. I think, especially him being the goal line guy, I think
he is definitely.
He might. Guy. And I don't know. It's kind of hit or miss. You don't really know with the Dolphins. I mean, it's kind of hard with Devon Achane and him.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like, they could both go for 40. They could both go for 10, and one of them could go for 40 and one of them could go for 10. So
yeah.
I think he's one of those upside guys where he's the goal line back.
They're both. They're both. I don't think you can sit them because you can't sit anybody in that offense. Like, like the more backup players, but like Jalen, Tyreek, Devon, Raheem, even Tua, dude, they're all explosive. They dropped 70 points on the Broncos that 1 week.
Yeah, that was bad week. This next guy, I have him in a couple leagues because I feel like he's a solid RB2. I like Ramondre. Yeah.
You do like Ramondre?
I do like him. He got paid. He's a receiving back.
I don't know.
But they're playing the Bengals.
Bengals, yeah.
I think he's projected, last time I looked, probably below 10 points.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say he's another borderline. He's another borderline guy. He is exactly what I see next to Javonte Williams. I think that's exactly where he needs to be. He's a borderline sit guy, but I think he's right below Javonte at the start.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So Ramondre, you said that start?
Yep.
Rico Dowdle.
I'm not starting him yet.
No,
I'm not starting him yet. He needs to
that whole Dallas running back room I would not start any of them yet.
Bad. Okay.
Yeah.
But Saquon, automatic start. Yeah. I think he will cook. I think he'll go crazy. I think it's his first game with that crazy offensive line. I mean, minus Jason Kelce, but still. Yeah. It's the same thing as kind of Lamar and Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
They're both studs. They're going to make plays. So.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree.
All right, we got Tony Pollard next. He's a guy that it seems like the RB1. He's been leading in the backfield in preseason. I think he could be RB1. Yeah. I think he's the lowest out of these RB1s, though. I think he's a borderline start.
Yeah.
I think.
He's definitely, I feel like he's RB2.
He could get the receiving work. I mean, a lot of people like Will Levis this year, like coming back, playing good. So I think until we figure out who the starter is, I think he can be a borderline start.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree.
He makes plays.
Yeah. We'll put him as starter. Travis Etienne, definitely
start.
Got him there. I think he'll do really well. Yeah.
And Tank Bigsby, he sucks.
Yeah, he's not very good. So that whole backfield is basically his, and they utilized him well last year.
Oh yeah, and he gets passing work. I mean, he has a really good quarterback behind him. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree.
Tyler Algier.
I don't think he gets enough carries. Yeah, he doesn't get enough carries.
Confirmed. Yeah, he's not good enough unless Bijan's hurt.
Yeah.
Zach Moss or Chase Brown. That's tough. Against the Patriots too. I think they're both sits.
Both sits?
Yeah. I think they're both sits this week.
Okay.
It's the same thing as all these other RB 1.5s. We have to find out who's the starter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And our last guy we got here is Zamir White. I like him.
I think
he's a star here.
I do like him.
I think he will do good with himself and be able to take place of Josh Jacobs leaving to go to Green Bay. But we saw him last year. I mean, he was doing really good with the offense, and he'll make a role.
Yeah,
for himself.
No, I definitely agree.
But I think the start sit looks really good. I think
there's a good amount of starts.
Yeah, there's a lot of starts. I mean, it's
the only really sits is just those risky guys. You don't know where they're going to be at in the depth chart.
Yeah.
You don't know how many carries they're going to get. But
I think we should do the same thing as quarterbacks. Who out of the sits do you think could be a starter?
Out of the sits?
Yeah, who could be the guy that could go for the top 15 running backs out of those guys?
Chuba.
Because
like Jonathan Brooks is out, that backfield is basically his. I mean, I think, and some people I've seen have him as a start. I think it's risky at first, but I do think Chuba is. I think out of all of the sits, Chuba is the best, most likely to be a start out of them.
My choice is our fake Nick Chubb. Jerome Ford,
yeah.
He is that guy too. He is the receiving back. He is the power back. Yeah. He can do it all.
It's just a hard matchup.
Yeah, that's the only bad part. I think he could, if he was one out of all of them, he could be the guy to go up and be a starting running back.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Well,
but,
we got wide receivers coming out next, so stay tuned for that. And
see ya.